all mainstream platforms as well. With that, I also want to remind you something very important. Make sure to follow me on Telegram. You can join my Telegram channel with the link in the description below this video, or in the live chat above, there is a comment that I just pinned, and you can actually follow me on Telegram that way. That's where I give daily updates. That's where I share everything. It is censorship free completely. And that's how we do this thing. So make sure to join me on Telegram. Links are in the description below and pinned in the live chat above. That's how you can stay up to date, where I don't have to censor myself or silence myself whatsoever for obvious reasons. With that, let's keep going. Let's dive into this and let's ask, what is really going on here and where do we go next? There's a series that I posted called the Disclosure Series, seen by millions of people around the world and over 100 countries around the world. And there's some people that love it, and there's some people that say it's too crazy. There's no way that this is true. Well, the Disclosure Series, particularly on episode 3 of the Disclosure Series, and you can watch this for free on Unified TV. You download the app, install it for free, and watch the Disclosure Series. I'm going to show you a clip right now to show you that all of this has been spoken about already. This is not new. This is just now starting to be accepted by the masses because it's starting to be obvious. So check this out before we dive into a bunch of other videos that I'm going to show you today. If you don't hear this video for any reason, just read the subtitles.
I don't know if you're paying attention lately. There's a lot of natural disasters. Everything that you see, for example, the floods in Australia that happened recently. Everything you see there is man-made. For them to create a tsunami, it's very simple. If you remember, we spoke about EMLP. That's the technology that they have. You could use nuclear bombs to create tsunamis. Look what happened in Congo a few months ago. We were supposed to get a tsunami on the east coast of the United States, especially New York Harbor, the Boston Harbor. I'm talking about a tsunami that the world never heard or seen before. It was stopped.
How do you stop and reduce natural disaster? Better yet, how did you stop what was supposed to hit New York and Boston? That is a very important episode, episode 3 of the Disclosure Series. It's free on Unified TV. Again, there is a link in the description below this video to download that app. You can watch it at unified.tv, and it is free for everybody to tune in. So make sure to check that out. I just pinned that link in the live chat right now. Unified.tv is the website. Unified TV is the app to download for free to watch this series. It's extremely important in terms of understanding what's really going on here, because it literally tells you what's going on. It's been telling you guys what's going on, and finally, people are starting to listen. So what could be the cause of this? Now I'm going to get to the punchline in the beginning, and then I'm going to explain it from a scientific perspective in a very grounded way, because this is not out of nowhere. There are certain plans, as crazy as that sounds, and I'll show you that. I'll show you the plans. I'll show you individuals from high-ranked organizations and agencies like the CIA, the head of the CIA speaking about this very openly. It's not a secret. We just haven't been paying attention. So I'm going to show you a few videos today, about 10 different videos to really connect the dots and understand what's going on here. But before that, I want to give you the punchline. A lot of you, I'm sure, are asking, what does TLS have to say about this? And I have to be careful with my answer if we want to keep this here in this video over here. But the answer is very simple. This is not what we think it is. This is not their doing. And they are doing their best to make sure that they can stop certain things as well. Now, what you're seeing across the world right now is only what's been succeeded in terms of coming to fruition. There are a lot of things that have been stopped, but we can't talk about the things with proof of what's been stopped, because how do you really do that? Now, I'm not going to ask you guys to trust me on this live stream today. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know when it comes to weather modification, and what we already know with scientific empirical data and actual proof. Now, I know some of you are listening and saying, Jason, this doesn't sound crazy at all. But to the common person, this sounds crazy. Many of us listening to this video may not be a part of that group. My job is to speak to the people that already understand this. It's to speak to you guys and to everybody else, to explain how all of this actually makes sense and what proof we have to back all of this up. So when it comes to weather modification, that's not a theory. That's not a theory at all. There's technology, the military uses it. They've used it already since the 70s in something called Operation Popeye in the Vietnam War. You can look it up and I'll show it to you on this live stream. But I want to give you a little intro into something that many people pose as a conspiracy theory. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to show you what's going on and allow you all to come to your own conclusions on what the truth is. The first video is from a show called Microdose. It's actually a show on Gaia. It's a great show, and it's a short 8-minute episode. I'm just going to show short little snippets to give you an understanding of what's really going on here.
Chemtrails stands for chemical trails that many believe are being poured into our atmosphere by planes. This, however, has been dismissed by mainstream news, science, and government agencies who offer that these are naturally occurring streaks of condensed water vapor known as contrails.
Now, it doesn't stop there. We're going to pull out handy-dandy Wikipedia over here because even they show you certain things, which blew my mind when I actually found them and was able to connect some dots. So today we're going to connect those dots. But before we continue, I'm going to show you one more video from a famous weatherman who was fired from his job for speaking his truth of what he was reporting.
Award-winning weatherman Scott Stevens began to notice strange weather patterns during the late 90s.
What I learned is I'm not forecasting the natural processes of this planet anymore. I have to anticipate, not forecast, but anticipate an agenda.
That's a really big deal. That a famous weatherman came out and was speaking and was fired for doing so. We're seeing that in fields and disciplines across the board right now when it comes to what's really going on, not just with the weather, but with everything. So we're going to start with a little lesson over here with proof and actually reported evidence and definitions of what is what. And we're going to start with what's been accepted by the mainstream media, and they call those contrails. Contrails are condensation trails. So it says, contrails or vapor trails are line-shaped clouds produced by aircraft engine exhaust or changes in air pressure, typically at aircraft cruising altitudes several miles above the Earth's surface. They're composed primarily of water in the form of ice crystals. I'm not going to read the rest and bore you because then we go to the conspiracy side of it. And then we go to the other side of the truth, which basically tells you that the theory may be true. The conspiracy side is called a chemtrail. The chemical trail conspiracy theory is this erroneous belief that the long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails consisting of chemicals or biological agents sprayed for, and here's where they get you, sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. Now let's delete this part of the sentence for a second and just go to condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft that are actually chemtrails consisting of chemicals or biological agents. Now, why am I highlighting that? My question is, why are they calling that a theory? The reason why I ask why they're calling that a theory is because of this.
There have been over 160 U.S. patents filed starting in 1891 that pertain to weather modification. In June 2016, then CIA Director John Brennan spoke at the Council on Foreign Relations.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection.
Remember that, SAIs, stratospheric aerosol injections.
Or FAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. On the geopolitical side, the technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions.
Again, at the expense of other regions.
Certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions.
So now let me break that down to English for anybody that missed it.